Hello everyone, you're getting this video because you're one of the team members who are hosting one of the expos this year. We met at the end of last year to introduce the project and to share ideas together about what we could do, and we had a look through a video which I've attached to this this assignment on the CPD drive. And this video is just very quickly going to just recap everything that we covered from that session and show you the planning document that we'll expect everyone to keep. So these are our expos for this year. We've got on the 8th of November the STEM Expo headed up by Salome along with Noel, Chigo, Queen and Julius. You'll be able to open this document called Expos 2024-25, and to get to your master planning document you can click the link on here and then you can click this tab and it'll take you to the document that you will be filling out for your expo. The 4th of December and the 5th of December are our performance expos, lower and upper school respectively. It's headed up by Najit along with Robert, Pam, Wisdom and Chikondi. Your documents are in the end column there. On the 10th of January we've got the Clubs Expo. That's going to be headed up by Salome as well. And that has got Afreen, Leah, Diana and Patricia in it. And there's the document there. And the final expo of the year is the 2nd of April, the Art Expo, following on from last year, headed up by Rob and along with Robert, Maya Miko, Tiwangi, Witness and Maya. So they are your expos, and the first port of call for everybody is to make a plan to meet with your SLT supervisor. And do it sooner rather than later, even if your expo is not until December or January, to meet so that you can begin to fill out the planning sheet and get things together. The more time you give yourself, the less that you're stressing and struggling later on. But certainly the STEM Expo team should be meeting in the next couple of weeks or so. I'll leave that to Salome to make sure that that meeting takes place, and to Najit and Rob for the meetings later on. Now when you go to your master doc, it looks like this. I'll just zoom in a little bit. One of the team should be responsible for filling this out, but everyone in the team should be able to find it and can contribute to it. You can put the academic year in, so for instance 2024-25, the term, so it might be term 1, and you can fill this out accordingly so that all of the details for the expo are on here. Now a lot of this stuff is things you'll already know, but it's good to have a full record of this so that in future years those who are doing the expos can look back at who was involved, what was done and the plans, so that they don't have to do as much planning from the very beginning again. So make sure you've got all the details in there. Which year groups will participate? So once you've got through these details about who's involved, which year groups will participate? Have a discussion, and in that discussion try to answer that question. Which year groups do you want to really focus on? Is this going to be a whole school thing, or do you want to focus on the lower school or the upper school or some of the year groups in the middle? You might even think about which students you want to target or which groups of students you want to target. That can include learning support. How many students will participate in the expo event? You've got to be realistic and not expect everyone to be involved, because that would be too many people. But you might decide to target and focus on 30 or 60 or whatever number you feel is manageable and appropriate for your event. What student skills or talents does this expo want to develop and showcase? This is where you really got to think about what you would want the children to develop, the skills you want them to develop, and the outcomes. What will they produce at the end for your showcase day? Where and when will the students develop the skills and talents they will need at the expo event? So you've got to figure out when you're going to meet with the students. How are you going to get them together? Are you going to do it during the school day? Are you going to do it in one of the afternoon sessions? And if you're doing that, you need to consider how you will communicate these plans to all of the affected teachers, or to all of the teachers, so that they know that certain students will leave the class at certain times of the day to prepare for your expo. The communication is really key to this, so that teachers aren't surprised when you're asking them for some of the children that they work with. So do bear the class teachers and specialists in mind, and make sure that everybody is communicated with about which children are involved and when they will be involved. How will the event wow parents? If those people who were involved in the Art Expo last year, we certainly wowed the parents with that. What are you going to do to really get the parents' attention and to really give them an unforgettable experience? Consider that when you meet with your team. Of course, when you meet with your team, remember, you can meet as often as you like, but you need to have several meetings in place so that you can keep people accountable to each other and you can support each other as you're getting prepared. What resources are needed? There will be a budget available for the expos. We want these to look good and we're making the parents go, wow. What resources do you need to make that happen? What estimated budget is required? Get that in there as well, and there will be a requisition form for you to fill out to get everything that you need. And then the date for the Expo evaluation meeting. Now the evaluation meeting is something that we're going to do for all of the expos so that you can have a debrief as a team to review what went well and what could be done better so that next year we can learn from your experience. So do make sure that you set a date after the expo has taken place for you to have an evaluation. And this is what the evaluation will be around. So you can review when you meet, you can think about what were the successes of the event, what could have been improved, what additional resources or budget would be needed for next year's event, and which staff members would you want to have involved in the next event so that we can get new staff involved or new talents that have arrived involved as well. All of this is in your master document for your Expo project. If this is filled out well, it'll be an invaluable document for you and your team to keep going back to, keep updating so that we can use it in future years. So make sure that you've looked through that and the Expos list. There is the video on the Google Classroom that links you to the video that we watched last year. Do watch that again, and I hope that you've enjoyed this video and found it useful.